Good morning, everybody. My name is Kobe Cole. This is Cole from the Low, episode 2, where we're going to talk about Championship Sunday. We got Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes, and we got Brock Purdy versus Jared Goff. I almost got that wrong. Brock Purdy versus Jared Goff. So we got a good little topic for us today. We got my guest, Mr. 411. Y'all go check him out at 411 Mr. at 411 Sports World on YouTube. He also got his TikTok. Sorry. His TikTok. Go check out his content on there too. Mr. 411, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here.
Got a good little topic today. Make
Oh
sure
yeah.
make sure you also go follow me at Co from the Low on Instagram. Here's a QR code for y'all and a TikTok. I'll be putting some good content on there too. We will have one more guest also joining us, but he'll come in a little later. So let's go ahead and get it started. First up, we're gonna talk about the NFC first. We got the Lions versus the 49ers, Jared Goff versus Brock Purdy. And who do you got winning that game, Mitch? Let's start with this. What you think about that game?
Well, I think it's an intriguing matchup, Cole. This matchup is one of those you kind of expected the 49ers to be in this mix. But with Detroit, yeah, there was talk about Detroit being a better team this season. But to make it to the NFC championship game, I'm not sure too many people would have laid bets on that when the season began. Um, and so with that said, this is going to be one of those things where can the team that's been there, done that, go ahead and make another Super Bowl appearance, or will it be the team that hasn't been even in this position since 1991? Think about how long ago that was. 1991. Barry Sanders was doing his thing back then, and so I think that it's intriguing as far as like, okay, the Lions, they have an offense, they have offensive weapons. The 49ers are known for defense and running the ball. And so it's like it's gonna be a clash here. Will Detroit's offense will it succeed on the road, on the grass? I'm not a weatherman yet, but who knows what the surface is gonna actually be like compared to what it's like in the dome that Detroit plays in. So those are the type of things I'm looking at initially. And of course we can go into more detail as you carry us on through this episode.
Yeah, but that game. Well, I had Detroit being here. I had them as
Hmm.
my dark horse. I
Hmm.
I have them making this far. Their defense is good. Their quarterback is pretty good. They got the receivers. They got a rookie running back that had a great season. That had a great showing against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we can't forget, yes, we expect the 49ers to be here. The 49ers just played an awful game against the Packers. Now, the 49ers defense was falling a lot. A lot of them was self-afflicted wounds with the PIs and tackling. A lot of that was caused by 49ers themselves. But if they go into this game versus the Lions, it's not going to be good. You can't take them because you got a more experienced team. You still got a lot of rookies, but you got more experienced team. You have a more depth team, and you also have a better team. I would say the Lions are better than the Packers, even though they both went 1-1. If the Lions would have seen the Packers in the championship, I would have still had the Lions beating them. So the 49ers go in here and take the Lions' flight or cause all them self-inflicted wounds on their home field. The same thing they just did against the 49ers, I mean against the Packers on their home field, it's gonna be a bad showing for them.
Well, we definitely going to find out. And I mean, that was good that you had the Lions as a dark horse. Um, and to say they have pieces, they have weaponry. You know what I'm saying? St. Brown at receiver. Golf is to me he's above average quarterback. Um, had a guy. He came in the league with high potential and everything. I think he's in a great situation here in Detroit. Um, but I'm looking. What I'm looking for is to see if Detroit's running game, if they can control the clock a little bit in this game. Um, I want to know if they can use Gibbs, and Montgomery or Gibbs and another back, and kind of control some of this game too. Because being on the road, here's one thing for Detroit, right? They was in a close shootout game against the Rams, and the Rams wasn't a team that was supposed to be in this position either, but it was a close game, but it was in Detroit. This is going to be a different scenario for them where they're going to have to get it done on somebody else's turf. And that's where I think as a road team, controlling the ball, controlling time of possession will be more important than anything. So that's what one thing I'm looking for too about Gibbs. So you can let me know what you think about Gibbs in the running game coming up tomorrow.
I like Gibbs in the run game and the other backs. I think they're gonna be effective in the run game. But if I was Detroit, I would pass the ball more than run the ball against that 49ers. They have Warner, Fred Warner,
Yep.
they have a DB. But other than that, they safety and that backside corner, in my perspective, I want to say aren't that good, but are the weak links in that bunch. If you have overall St. Brown, move him around, you have Laporta, you have multiple offensive weapons, and you can also throw Gibbs in the passing game. You got Chase Young on one side, you got Nick Bosa on the other side. I think we lost him here. We did, but I'll keep on talking. We got Chase Young on one side, we got Nick Bosa on another side. You also have, there we go. You got Chase Young on one side, you got Nick Bosa on the other side. You got Fred Warner in the middle.
Yeah.
That's very hard to run against.
Mm-hmm.
But let us know if you pass against them, you might see a little more movement, progression in your offense. Because that's where for 49ers are weak at. And I would say the Lions are pretty good in their passing game. So, but to answer your question with the run game, I like Jameer Gibbs in the run game. I think he'll get good yards. I think he'll go, I'll say 50 to 60. He'll go over that yards. When he break away from big plays, he break away. But it's gonna be harder to run the ball against this team than the pass against this team.
Yeah, it definitely is gonna be, that. But just some of the, just again being on the road, controlling that ball and also the turnover battle. Those are the things that I would really look at if I'm a Detroit fan in this situation. If they can keep the turnovers down, um, keep Goff upright, that's also gonna be key too. Keep him upright and control the ball a little bit more than what they usually do. Those are ways to keep the game close and keep the pressure on 49ers and see what Brock Purdy can do. Because have we really seen Brock Purdy consistently carry the Niners? He's definitely a good piece to what they do. But if I'm Detroit, I want to put him in a position where I want to put 49ers in a position where Brock Purdy has to carry this squad, has to do a Joe Montana or Steve Young and carry us and carry them through the finish line. So what are you thinking about Purdy?
That's a question I was gonna ask you.
Okay, sure.
How do you feel about the Purdy versus Jared Goff matchup?
I think if you just go one for one, I would go with Golf as the QB. If you told me pick the QB regardless of roster, regardless of this or that, I would take Golf over Purdy. I think Purdy he's done well for himself, but there was a reason why he was drafted where he was, and he's in a great situation. And that's not to knock him because at some point, in some degree, a lot of people are in great situations. We're gonna talk about some more quarterbacks in the next matchup, and I think they're in great situations. Um, But especially for Purdy, I think having that running game behind him and having all those things, I think that helps him more. But yes, I would take Goff over Purdy if you ask me to draft.
It's a lot of talk about. Good morning, Mister
And,
Antoine. Did I say that right?
yeah, yeah, Antoine in the building. Okay.
Good morning, Mister Antoine. We're
Hey,
talking about
good morning.
Lions in the 49 right now. We're currently talking about the QB matchup against Purdy and Jared Goff. How do you feel about that?
All right, yeah, good morning, man. As far as the quarterback matchup, you say,
Yes, sir.
um, uh, I think that Goff is a better quarterback. Um, the 49ers have the better team overall, and I mean that's because they have a better running back and a as far as like the skill positions, I think the 49ers are a little bit better at their skill positions. Um, so um, and and they can rely on their defense. But like as far as like quarterback play, I think Jared Goff has to do a little bit more as far as just his quarterback play um, in order for them, in order for the Lions to win. But uh, uh, I just looking into it, like I said, I think the 49ers have the better skill position players. So um, that makes the quarterbacking job a lot easier. If um, if Purdy stays within his stays within in himself and not gets out there and tries to make plays that he hasn't done all year, then and just kind of rely on Christian McCaffrey. I think the 49ers will win. But like I say, as far as the quarterback matchup, Golf is going to have a harder time, than Purdy will.
Yeah, and I also think that Goff, just I think at home he's much better, and a lot of dome quarterbacks are like this. At home, they're much better than they are on the road. Like there's a stat out there. I think Golf is like a 107 QB rating at home versus like 80 something on the road, and that's a significant difference. And so, that's the thing where you got to kind of account for that. But yeah, I mean I agree with Brandon Shaw. I think we both gave the same answer that if you had to take a quarterback, I would take Golf.
When it comes to the matchup with Purdy and Goff, a lot of y'all say that yes, the 49ers is the better team. Yes, Purdy's in a better situation,
Hmm.
but and like Mr. Antoine was saying, you rely on Christian McCaffrey. Debo Samuel is off the injury report, so he will be playing in this game. You
Yep.
got not you got George Kittle, but this is how I see it when it comes to Purdy. And I was having this discussion with my brother, and he was also like,
Okay.
I wouldn't rank Purdy higher because Purdy is on a great situation. He had no choice but to win. And this is how I feel about that. Last year, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, a lot of people were saying that Jalen Hurts was in a great offense, that he wasn't that good. The Eagles went against the Cowboys. You put a backup quarterback in. Now, the Cowboys was a playoff team, but they didn't get the job done. They put a backup quarterback in. Now, a lot of people was like, oh, the Eagles are going to win. You have a backup quarterback. It's still the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, guess what? The Eagles lost that game. The backup quarterback threw 2 interceptions. The Eagles lost in a great situation. But y'all say you can put any quarterback in there, they win. It's the same with the 49ers. Last year, they went against the Philadelphia Eagles. Brock Purdy got hurt. I want to say the backup got hurt, and they had to put Christian McCaffrey in at quarterback for a play or two, and they started going a
Hmm.
lot of wildcat. Purdy's in a great situation, but we can't downplay what Purdy has done or the quarterback Purdy is because Purdy is the reason that team wins. So overall, I would take Goff, but we can't downplay what Purdy is because he's on that 49 team. He didn't ask to get drafted. He was drafted last, Mr. Irrelevant. He was drafted last, but he's still a good quarterback because they played the Eagles this year. The Niners won. Debo Samuel said it himself. We would beat the crap out of the Eagles if Purdy played. Purdy played one. You just can't put any quarterback in that system. So a lot of us downplay Purdy, but Purdy's the reason the 49ers win. He don't have his best games, and he shows sometimes why he was drafted last, but he is a top 10 quarterback. Some will argue top 5. It's just he downplayed a lot because of the team he's on. The Philadelphia Eagles team, that team was no different than last year, but we don't hear that Jalen Hurts talk no more. You put a backup quarterback in the 49ers offense, they're not winning that game against the Lions. But I would still take Goff over Purdy, and I think Goff just has a little edge or a little more experience. But Purdy is on a better team. I will agree with that.
Yeah, and like I say, with that situation, man, you with any quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Like with any quarterback, as long as he plays within the system, that I mean, that's what gives you your best chances when your quarterback stays within the confines of himself and plays within his game. You get that. Again, we you know, and the sometimes we take a knock on when we call quarterbacks game managers and guys that that play within. Tom Brady was never a he made plays, but his 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 play came from his studying and how he played the game outside, what I'm saying, not just on the field in his his preparation. And not to compare Purdy or either one of those guys to Tom Brady, but you know, he wasn't going to wow you with anything other than his ability to stay within the game and be a game manager. And like I say, sometimes you take a people want to take a knock on that. You just do your job. And the biggest thing about a quarterback is to not turn the ball over, not give that team extra possessions. And they're going to play at home, so you'll have that the home field advantage, the crowd, the whole that whole situation, going for them. And so I think it'll be a close game. And I expect the 49ers to win. So
Yeah, and to go back on the about the Purdy, it 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 doesn't mean that he's not good at what he does, but I find it hard to say you pick up Purdy and drop him on any type of team, and then he's gonna elevate that team. So that's the difference in that. Again, right situation, right players. Like for example, we can go back to the days of, like, let's say, Chris Chandler in Atlanta, the year that the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. Chris Chandler is not a guy that's going to just carry any team that he play for, but that season with a good running game with Jamal Anderson, solid receivers, defense played well. He stayed within himself, not make too many mistakes. They went to the Super Bowl, and so that's what we're kind of looking at with, in my opinion, with Purdy. And it's a ton of players that we can look at like that in the right place, right time situations. But um, I think that I do agree that the people out in the sports world, fans in the sports world, they hear that term and they may think like it's as a negative. No, it's a positive because let's look at Dennis Rodman, for example, in basketball. He's a Hall of Famer. He made the Hall of Fame, and he three-peated with the Bulls. He won back to back on the Pistons. But Dennis Rodman himself is not going to carry a team, but he does his job so well that it helps a very good team get to the promised land. And so that's no knocking on Rodman. Because I call Dennis Rodman a role player. I actually call him the greatest role player of all time. And but there's nothing wrong with that. I think people have to understand that we all have roles, in life. You know what I'm saying, in sports and in life, and that's okay. But yeah, Purdy's doing his job. He's doing pretty good at what he does. And as long as they believe in him and he keeps turnovers down, that's why the 49ers work the way they do. You know, it allows other players to do their thing.
As long as Purdy's in the great, if he plays good and that defense play good, yes, they will win. But I will still take the Lions over them just because I do feel like
Mm,
the Lions is gonna upset them.
Okay.
okay. So you're going Lions, Cole.
I'm going Lions. I'm going 100%
Okay.
Lions.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not changing my Lions pick until we get to the Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. Well, you ready for our? I kind of fell out a little bit on the connection, so I didn't know if you asked for predictions or not yet. I don't
Oh,
know if I
this
missed that.
Antoine went ahead and gave me his 49 predictions. So yes, we are on predictions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with the 49ers in this one. Um, and it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be intriguing. Again, turnovers and time possession is going to be the answer when we do a review of this. When we come back and look back at this matchup, those are the two keys that I want to look at whenever this game ends. But for now, I'm going Niners. I think they're going to run the ball pretty effective. I think that with Debo coming back, he's going to be that hybrid running back, tight end, wide receiver issue for the Lions. And I do think playing outdoors in this situation is going to give him a tough time. If you go back in the memory lane, the Detroit Lions got to this point in '91, it was something similar. They won a home game, I think, or one or two. I think the Falcons lost to the Washington. Cover your ears, everybody. Washington Redskins at that time, and then Washington hosted Detroit. Washington hosted Detroit in the same position, and Washington just went to work on them outdoors, weather, grass. It was just a different Lions team than it was the previous week. So I'm just going to kind of go with the history on that, and I'm sticking with the Niners on this pick. But hey, it's a great season for both teams, by the way. Great season.
The Niners showed me, even though I had them
Mm-hmm.
beating Packers, and I went 4 for 4 out my division predictions. Got to my own horn real quick because
Uh-oh.
my wild card prediction was terrible. But going to the division round, they just did at home. Yes, it was raining. Yes, the conditions was awful. But at home, they was falling on their butt more than the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you have to, when you have that home field advantage, you shouldn't. Yes, you lost Debo, but that game shouldn't been how it been. Kittle, he had a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, but he was dropping passes. Purdy had some terrible reads. Yes, it was the weather, but the reads doesn't help that Purdy had awful reads. The
Mm-hmm.
defense, the secondary, it just looked bad. They just looked bad as a team. The offense looked better than the defense, but as a team, no slack to the Green Bay Packers. But as the 49ers team, as the team we've been saying look good all year, why does that game go down to Jordan Love throwing the interception? It shouldn't be that. It should be a 14 or 7 touchdown. If it goes to the game winning drive, I'm cool with that. It's the playoffs. We have to go with that. But the score, the way it was, that wasn't a good look for the 49ers. It just wasn't.
But they survived and advanced. And
If
I
you
think and they have a chance to make up for it in this
and I'm
game.
cool with that. A win's a win. And I'm cool with that. Survivor the best, a winner's a win, good. But certain teams that you're supposed to handle business with is not
Mm-hmm.
convincing to us fans that you should win next week. The Lions has beat teams that we all was thinking they supposed to beat. But the teams they played was hard fought teams and they came out with the victory. Them are teams they should have been battling with. The Buccaneers, the Rams, them are both teams they should have been battling out with. The Rams game ended how the Rams game was supposed to end because that's the team, them teams was real equal to each other. the 49ers are not equal to the Packers. It's raining. It's the playoffs. So what? They're not equal to them. You shouldn't be playing down to their level. That game should have been over by third quarter. The same thing with the Ravens. We're gonna get into that, but the Ravens and the Texans, the game broke away second half. That game should have broke away second half. You shouldn't be in a hard fought Packers game because what happens when you in a game like that you know you're supposed to be winning, your team start cussing your own teammates out, and the Packers on the sideline. Let me tell you how that coach's that halftime coach meeting went. We're in it, boys. They ain't think we're supposed to be here, but we in it. Look at the score. One big play. Now you got a whole team of underdogs hyped up, and you don't get a team of underdogs hyped up. Because when you do, it's over with. And if Love didn't throw that interception and kept the ball in his hands, we don't know how that game was going to end.
Yeah, and that's why when you talk about, that's why I say the thing with Purdy. That's why you kind of look at him and you have to say that he's just a cog in the wheel because
Yeah.
because you simply take away, you take away Debo Samuel and you see how drastically that game changed from him just missing one piece. You know what I'm saying? And, I've watched the 49ers over the last few years and just kind of, the guy that played the biggest for them last week was Juwan Jennings. He was the guy that
Yep.
came in and made every big catch. It was to him. It wasn't even, Ayuk or Kittle. You know what I'm saying? CMC had his running, but and Jennings is one of those guys that for the 49ers, I think he did well last year and the year before. He's kind of one of those Robert Ory show up in the playoffs kind of guy. And the playoffs kind of run. And so that's why, when you get back to talking about the quarterbacks, that's why I don't rate Purdy that high because, like you said, you don't ask him. You just ask him not to mess up, stay within the confines of the offense. He's got a good offensive-minded coach, and he has one of the best defenses in football. It's just like just don't mess it up for us, and we'll be all right. And like I said last week, it was where everybody gets into conspiracy theories and all this, and you can say this and that, and you don't want to get into but it's just real fun, like you miss I'm not gonna say 40-yard field goals are hard or that they're not, makeable, but come on, man, this is the playoffs. You miss a 40-yard field goal that, if Carlson makes that field goal, the 49ers have to go down and score to tie the game, not to take the lead. And so you get that last drive against Green Bay as and taking that. Jordan Love made a horrible play. That was a horrible decision. That is
It was
the
a
one.
young man decision. Yeah, inexperienced decision.
No, TJ, that ain't even inexperienced, man. You've never at the professional level. That is the one thing you cannot do. You do not throw the ball back across the middle of the field. Like you just don't do that. I don't care how much arm strength you got. I don't care who you are. That was a horrible play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of those ones. Hey, man, chuck the damn, throw it down, throw it away, and live. Because it was just like second down or whatever. You got two more downs to keep this drive alive. And all we got to do is kick a field goal. You don't have to score.
And I'm not mistaken, I think they also had a timeout.
Yeah, but experience is the best teacher, and he's going to now be in that situation down the line, and he's going to recall back to this lack of judgments that he had down the stretch. That's how I view it now. I view that it was a bad decision. We're not debating how bad the decision was.
Yeah.
But when you are young at something, you make mistakes, and that's the part of the NFL that I personally have an issue with is that we push a lot of young quarterbacks into the front so soon versus letting them marinate a little more.
But he
enough
did.
to be
Aaron Rodgers,
experienced.
what you mean, man? Marinate. He sat
He,
behind
yeah,
Aaron
he
Rodgers.
sat long. I mean, he should have been.
Yeah, but he
And
ain't.
CJ
It,
Stroud thrown into the fire. Bryce Young was thrown into the fire.
there's a lot of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They home.
Hunter Long wasn't thrown into the fire. You sat behind
but I,
a first ballot.
He,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, and they were about to trade the guy too. They
Who
wasn't
was
they
that?
wasn't sitting they wasn't sitting Love back to develop Love. They were about to get rid of Love.
Oh, but still, you sat behind Aaron Rodgers. As if he go into another team. You still sat behind Aaron Rodgers. You see Aaron Rodgers play. You got wisdom for Aaron Rodgers. He was your big brother.
You
That you if you can't
sorta.
marinate behind Aaron Rodgers, you can't marinate behind nobody.
Well, I think he's doing pretty good. They made the playoffs this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he did.
It,
I don't. But my only issue is I wouldn't. I see what you're saying as far as like the game experience and you
right, the
doing that.
game experience part of it. Yeah.
But like I say, there's just and I mean I guess what's that old saying? Pressure will bust a pipe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
They'll tell
and
you
it
that
did.
pressure.
It did. Yeah.
Pressure will. It'll get you to it'll make you make bad decisions. It'll get you to
Hmm.
to do things out of character. And like you say, yeah, that's one thing that you do get when you the more you do it, the more experience you get. So I understand that.
It's still
It's
a
just
horrible
one of those
decision. I'm
things.
not. I'm not even debating that. It was a
Yeah,
bad decision.
yeah,
No, there's
and
no
and
question about that.
you just that's just one of those that nobody should have to tell you don't do that play. You know what I'm saying? And then it
Hmm.
wasn't like the guy was open. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he wasn't even open.
He can learn from that, but that doesn't come with experience. From middle school, high school, collegiate level, NFL, the number one thing a D line coach can tell you this: don't throw the ball across the body in the middle of the field. That's
And
not
guess what? And
experience.
guess
Never.
what? They do it, and they do it throughout the season.
He
I've
do
seen it all. I've seen it during the
that
season.
doesn't do with experience. That's
Yeah,
undisciplined.
you're right. They do it, and most of the time, you get the same result. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's one of those.
Only the
That's
8%.
one of those that yeah, like you say, that's just that's just like I say, that's almost that cardinal sin. That's one of those
Yeah.
things that you just don't do. And he, like I say, just I got my own thing about that too. The NFL is a business, and and the business is making money. And I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, nobody wants to if we're going this weekend, nobody wants to see the Green Bay Packers playing the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? We we
Oh,
we
you
we
mean
had
this week? Oh, yeah. We
yeah
won't see no
yeah
third matchup between them teams. I
yeah
think
we
they
don't yeah
split this year too. Yeah.
yeah we don't and I'm not just saying we don't want to see it. The
I know what you
the
mean.
the NFL does it. You know what I'm saying? It's I get I really do have a different view of how sports go now. You know what I'm saying? It may be skewed because I'm older, and it may be you know what's the word?
You're probably looking at it from a different lens than you did when we looked at it from a total pure
Yeah,
side
like
of
yeah,
things.
Well,
yeah,
But
young
and
people
yeah.
don't want to
and it's
see
a
the
little
Lions
skewed.
and
That's the word I'm
oh,
looking for. It's a
the
little
49ers
skewed.
and the
But
Ravens.
what's
Oh,
up?
go ahead.
What's up, Kobe?
Y'all say y'all want or the NFL or the fans. I don't want to screw your words up, Mr. Antoine, but y'all want to see the Packers versus the Lions. I don't want to see the 49ers versus the Ravens.
Hey,
That's fine. But
and you get that, but hey, I get that. You know what I'm saying? As far as just if that's the matchup you don't think you want to see, but I think what the NFL would want to see that because you basically have had you got two popular teams that have pretty much won all season, and it's one of those. It's an easy sale. You know what I'm saying? It's just an easy sale to now, anybody that's coming out of the AFC, if it's they've got the best team as far as the Ravens, and then you still got Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So he's an easy sell. if Mahomes gets there, that's an easy sell for the AFC. Either way that this that goes, um, it's an easy sell as far as the NFL is looking at it. Um, but like I say, they're gonna want to see San Francisco get there. You know what I'm saying? Just simply because the other two teams, as far as like as far as either the lines or like I say, if Green Bay had a messed around and won, it's all about now. You can tell that a lot of sports, it's all about selling the game. It's all about selling those commercials. It's all about the advertising. It's all about the views, and that's how they make their money. And like I say, it's just one of those things where I don't think, and I'm not just saying that they're going out and out cheat, but sometimes them whistles and sometimes them flags and like you say, sometimes some decision making, play call, it just looks funny. You know what I'm saying? It just looks real funny.
All right, so
This- the-
I
Oh,
still
yeah.
got the Niners winning. I still got the Niners winning this game.
Yeah.
Looking at it from my vantage point, my viewpoint on it, like again, I'm looking for 49ers to control the game with CMC McCaffrey. I think that's where it's going to kind of start. I think Debo Sanders is going to Samuels him coming back this week versus not being there last week is going to help boost their offense, and I think that they're going to kind of control it there, and they're going to have the energy from being at home. Detroit to me needs to come out. They got to come out quick, punch them in the mouth, establish some sort of lead and kind of have the 49ers playing from behind. And I think we'll have a totally different game there. But if not, I kind of see the Niners winning with this one. That's my NFC prediction.
If the Lions win, I'm going to buy me a Lions shirt.
Uh oh.
Might go buy
Uh
me a.
oh.
I am a Lions fan. I'm gonna be a Lions fan today.
Oh. All
Hey man,
right.
hey
Well,
man, hey, that's one of those things where, like you say, is I think Detroit. I think Detroit is still maybe like another year away. Because they
hmm
have they have progressed over the years. You know what I'm saying? That Campbell has the team fighting and believing in themselves. Everybody was thinking he was crazy. Why the heck are you taking a damn running back in the first round and nobody's heard of this kid really, he's their end of the game back. You know what I'm saying? He's the
hey,
one that finishes the game.
hey, and also, drafting Hutchinson, the D lineman from Michigan. Remember when
Yeah.
that came out? There was a little bit of talk about that. I think in that draft, I did predict that the Jaguars would take the lineman from Georgia, but I mean that was a good pick that they got with Hutchinson. He's turned out to
Yeah.
be a monster. So they have been drafting well. I like the energy from their head coach. This is not your uh what is it now, uncle, whatever you want to call it now. This isn't your uncle's Detroit Lions anymore. This is a solid program right now. I think they are building. I think they're regardless of what happens the rest of this season. I think they're going to be legit now. It's not like a one
Yeah.
off. Like
Yeah.
some teams be one offs in the NFL. They just so happen to have a good schedule. They so happen to get a good break in the playoff, and we think that they're amazing. But it was just that one off season. I don't see that with Detroit. I see Detroit being in the picture for the next at least next 2 to 3 years. They're in the picture, in my opinion.
All the teams we seen this playoffs are gonna be in the. I say be in the picture. Maybe we gotta see how Baker Mayfield
Cleveland.
is. You said Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm saying not Cleveland.
You
Oh
get
man, I
you
think
get the
Cleveland
Cowboys
will,
today.
man. They've got a pretty good defense. I mean, you got to think about it, man. They were missing
And they did
Chubb, who
they
was
did that without they starting quarterback. They
yeah.
got threw off the couch.
That shows you how much they didn't need that quarterback. That
No,
quarterback. They
because
got they got somebody who again like Purdy
no,
is
because
not going is not going to mess things
two
up for them.
records and had to go find a dude off the couch. So you definitely needed a quarterback But Joe Flacco and Deshaun Watson, Deshaun probably would have got that win.
I don't know.
Joe Flacco throws more interceptions. Deshaun's gonna run the ball.
I don't think they get to that point without Flacco this year. I think Flacco did
I,
what they wanted, what Cleveland needed a quarterback to do for the last 2 to 3 years. Just
yeah,
be
I think.
solid.
Yeah, I think
Just
he.
be,
I mean, yeah, he
and be a
played
leader.
well. Yeah, he played well. He did. Flacco did turn the ball over a lot, though. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And he was. They were able to survive the, what he gave them as far as the passing game.
Hmm. He
With
revitalized a couple of players on that team.
yeah. I mean, you forgot about Amari Cooper and some of the other guys that they had, and so yeah, he in Joku, yeah, and so they, he did that part, but at the same time, like you say, when you look at the last, that last game, he was he hurt him, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, he earned
some of
that
those
game
same
finally.
because some of
Hmm.
those same things that you liked about him, it kind of it hurt him, and I think they'll be like I say defensively they're a pretty solid defensive team, um, and like I say you're missing your starting running back and your starting quarterback and you still make it to the playoffs, man. That's a you know
It's a saying. I don't know if it might have came from people of y'all age, but it's a saying that a lot of young people say, and I say to this day, and it's what Joe Flacco did in the game versus the Texans. The moment was too big, and he pissed down his leg, and that's exactly what happened. Deshaun ain't doing that.
Deshaun is a player that the team don't even believe in. Like they like he's been there
Why are you
for however
guessing
long.
that when
He ain't
Deshaun
did nothing for the team since he been there. And Houston, and with Houston, they did better this year without him. So and Deshaun, whether it's self inflicted or whether it's fair or not, he's been in trouble. He's been in and out. He's injury prone. Um, I don't know you can count on him. He isn't proven that he can be counted on yet. So that's my thing with Watson. Talent wise, oh he's light years ahead of Flacco and whoever else the backup to him was, or Jacoby Brissett or whoever. But it's something about being the guy. If you go back and watch that movie, Any Given Sunday, Willie Beeman had all the talent, but the guy who played the quarterback, Dennis Quaid, character, he was the guy that the lineman believed in, the running back believed in, the defense believed in. He might not have been better, but he was better for the team. And sometimes that's what you need in team sports. So but we'll see. That's just me now. I think the
only
Steelers.
time to
I
tell
think
you,
I think the Steelers can replace the Browns next year in the playoffs. I think there's a couple other teams out there that
the
can get
Steelers in
in.
the playoffs. What you mean replace?
Well, look, the Steelers kind of eked in there too this year, but there's going to be a couple teams that's going to get in, and somebody's going to be out next year. That's the NFL.
yeah, I mean
The
you
same
still got
teams
the
are not
Bengals.
going to be in
The,
there
the
The
Bengals, the
on neither
Bengals are
side. Cincinnati fell.
yeah,
Cincinnati fell
Cincinnati.
off.
but
Yeah, because
That's what I meant. I meant that team in the division. Yeah, Cincinnati. My bad.
yeah, I can see since with Joe Burrow coming back. Now,
Yeah,
we're going to switch to the Ravens and the Chiefs game real quick. But let me get this started out.
go ahead.
We were talking about system quarterbacks with Purdy, and I brought the Eagles. If we're going to talk about a system quarterback, let's talk about Joe Burrow. He's in a system because Jay Browning came in and had a great year and was balling. He didn't get to the playoffs because they just didn't have enough.
Yeah,
But Jamar Chase, T.
yeah.
Higgins, not a bad tight end, great
Hmm.
running back. That's a system. That he done proved that he's in the system better than any other quarterback. When he beat the Chiefs to go to I think that was the year he went to the Super Bowl and he beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I told a lot of people this. Joe Burrow didn't beat the Chiefs. Jamar Chase beat the Chiefs, and I would stand by that. Well, he had to get the ball somehow. Yeah, I can throw the ball for 10 yards, and Jamar can take it for another 60. It wasn't like
yeah,
he roamed it down the field.
I mean,
I mean,
I will take Burrows over Purdy any day of the week. But yes, these quar-
I
these quarterbacks are in the like a lot of these quarterbacks are in the right place. That it's a lot about placement too when it comes to a lot of players in the NFL. I mean, I'm just going to use another error, but the guys that could play anytime, anywhere, John Elway, comes to mind. Dan Marino comes to mind. Certain guys like that, they come to mind. Like anytime, anywhere, any team, I throw them in there, I'm good. But for the most part, a lot of quarterbacks have to be in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Michael Vick, and we ain't gonna go too far for this guy. I think it's gonna help lead into the next matchup. But look at Michael Vick. If Michael Vick was utilized like a lot of these quarterbacks have been utilized over the last 10 to 12 years, we wouldn't even be talking about nobody else right now but Mike Vick, because Mike Vick was a circle, and people were trying to put him into a square when he came along. But these
did he?
tours and Hurts and what's the other guy in Arizona and so on and so
Kyler
forth.
Murray.
Yeah, like if Vic was able to play in these type of systems, oh my God, you know it.
Oh, he was definitely
It's
ahead
a
of his
wrap.
time. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
definitely ahead of his time.
yeah.
well, so we're gonna end this off with score prediction. So start off with you, Mr. Antoine. What you got score prediction for the Lions and 49ers?
Um, I think I think they're going to score more points. Detroit doesn't have a super stout D. They're going to give up some points. I say 34-17. I don't think it's going to be close.
34-17, 49ers.
49ers. Yeah.
Mr. Corwin.
Woo wee. Okay, I'm going Niners 27, Detroit 21.
Okay. Touchdown game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lions 24, 49ers 21.
Okay.
Okay, that's a great game. Yeah. So, and man, I would love for it to be that way. It's the second game, right, of the night. So it's the late game. Okay.
I don't know why they got a late game, but okay. Um, let's go ahead and get to our main event here, and we got a couple side topics on the side of that. But Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens for the AFC Championship, and that's the main event. That's the game everyone want to see. A lot of people do not want the Kansas City Chiefs to win. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that? We'll start off with you, Mr. Foreman.
Um. They okay. I think I know where we're going with this. Well, this is where I'm gonna go with it. A lot of people don't want the Chiefs to win. Let's start off with Taylor Swift. Okay.
Exactly. There we
Uh,
go.
we don't need to. I don't want to see no more screen images of her doing the uh what is it, the swag surfing. I don't need to see her cheering. I don't need to see none of that crap. If you just show the Chiefs, I'll be good. But I'm tired of seeing that. Um, so that's one. The other thing is, I know a lot of people want to see, uh, you know, in black media, right? Lamar Jackson, is his time. It's time for him to be, in the Super Bowl. The league doesn't want to see a guy with plaits in his head and talk the way he talked, and dress the way he dressed. We don't want to see another Allen Iverson, in at this stage. Imagine what may happen if the Ravens win the Super Bowl and he's Super Bowl MVP more than likely, especially playing the position he does. They don't want to see that, so people are saying, you know, that it's going to be a push from black media to really get Jackson into that Super Bowl. But we also have another black quarterback that's playing too, and that's Patrick Mahomes. So I think that we can get to that a little bit later. But for the Chiefs, that's probably why you don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, as far as that topic goes.
Okay, Mr. Antoine.
I he about word for word. I'm tired of looking at Taylor Swift with skinny ass. I'm through with her. I don't need. I mean, and again, we get back to the business side of this. You got people who have never watched a football game in their life. They're gonna watch because Taylor Swift, like they flash up there and they show her, every other damn place. So I'm tired of seeing her. I'm tired of Patrick Mahomes. I don't like him. I just do not. I don't. He like it went from being Tom Brady to him. I just he makes plays. And don't get me wrong, he makes plays, but it's just like everything that he does is like he is. Oh, he's Mahomes. He's just so special. No, Lamar Jackson has done the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? When he runs, you know what I'm saying? He makes plays running. When Mahomes run, he makes plays when he's running. He keeps plays alive. Sorry about that. He keeps plays alive because he can move. You know what I'm saying? Because he can move around the pocket. And nobody, you know what I'm saying? And because he has not won, he hasn't gotten to that Super Bowl. He's had a poor playoff record. Um, I want to see, I just want to see him win. You know what I'm saying? I want to see, and I do want to see. I want to see, like I don't, I would like to see that young black man kind of get some of the critics off his back. And like I say, me and I'm not gonna get too far off topic because me and Mr. 411 kind of had this discussion yesterday about some of the things as far as like within our black race, how you know how we're still color struck. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we will get that whole thing. But if you look at Lamar Jackson, he's overcome losing like his starting running back, his best receiver and tight end. He's got nobody knew anything. Zay Jones, he's out there balling. They went and picked up Gus Johnson's running the ball. He's still got Odell relevant, and so he's a hell of a running back in himself. And so I just want to I hope the Ravens do well. That's where with that. But I'm tired of Taylor Swift too.
Well, I'm gonna play a little devil advocate here. Well, okay, I will say this. I don't really care about the Taylor Swift stuff. I could care less because I'm just solely in the football. They show her back to the football. I don't really care. I have no problem with Taylor Swift. I'm not no Swiftie, but I have no problem with it. I will say this. I would draw the line on swag surfing. You're not gonna come out of nowhere and say the Chiefs dance. All you need to know about swag. No. The Chiefs did not start that. Taylor Swift is not gonna claim swag. I will. Now that's one thing. I don't care about Taylor Swift stuff. I'm gonna show a post here that asks, "What would you rather see first?" I made to talk about it also, and I'm gonna get y'all opinion on that, and I'm gonna show that. And I'm gonna go a little deeper. But I am okay with Taylor Swift stuff. But don't come on here talking about the Chiefs and the famous dance, their dance, swag surfing, and like no.
No.
See you. And us right here, that is us. You can't take away swag surfing. That's my last draw. Anything else, I do not care about. I like Travis. I like Taylor Swift. I like Patrick Mahomes. But you're not taking away swag surfing. I draw the line right there. That cannot happen. You're going to start a war. If another post, I will say this: if the Chiefs win and they start swag surfing, or they get on there and like Travis Kelce is like the lead swag surfer, or Taylor Swift come out of nowhere and she starts swag surfing and she started off, it's gonna be war. It's gonna be war between but it's gonna be a certain war between certain people because they're not gonna let that slide. I will say that. But I have with Taylor Swift. Now about the matchup, I had to get that little rant off my chest because swag surf is one of my favorite dances And when you want to get the crowd lit, start off slow and you start picking it up. You can't claim that. You can't claim swag surfing. That's generations right there. But
Yeah.
the game. Now, Mr. Antoine, you said Lamar does the same thing Patrick Mahomes does, and I would disagree to an extent. And when you went in detail, I was with you. But to an extent, Patrick Mahomes, we can all agree, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Defense is good. That offense sucks. Travis Kelce has not had his best year. He has dropped balls. Pause. The receivers.
Kadarius Tony. Yeah.
Darius Tony. I was about to get out a bunch of Darius Tony.
His middle
Yeah.
name is Drop the Ball.
Yeah.
Drop. He could have a bag of money in his hand and he might drop that. Rasheed Rice might be the only other person that can catch that ball consistently on that team.
Yeah, Rice. Yeah, he stepped up. Mm-hmm.
So Mahomes has did something you would see a lot of teams not do. You talk about the doubts of the falling of the dynasty. This man got a subpar team to the AFC Championship. Imagine what he do if he gets to the Super Bowl. A subpar Chiefs team. And the only reason they subpar is because of the offense. When you get a subpar Chiefs team to the Super Bowl, you got to be in a conversation with Brady. Now, it's going to be the same thing as and Michael Jordan. It's going to be that type of conversation. Now, is Mahomes there yet on Brady level? I'm going to say the same thing I said with Michael Jordan and LeBron. I don't think Mahomes is on that Brady level yet. But if he goes to the Super Bowl, and most definitely if he win it, he's in that conversation. Now, Lamar Jackson this year, he is the MVP. He should be unanimous MVP after his performance. That was should be. But the matchup overall, the Ravens also got Mark Andrews back. So the Ravens' chances of winning goes up by a larson. I don't know if that's even a word, but it goes up a lot. And I just think it's going to be a great matchup. And the only reason a lot of people don't want the Chiefs to win is because of Taylor Swift. And that's the only y'all would have no complaint of the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl if it wasn't because of one woman in the Swifties. And yes, she has changed the culture of football. Yes, females that I knew never cared a crap about football are now saying, "Oh, is my girl Taylor gonna be there?"
Yeah, she didn't care about it either.
Yeah, why are you not showing Taylor? Yeah, I understand the frustration. I see why y'all saying that put Chiefs in there. Okay, I could just care less about the Chiefs being in there, and let me get this post up. But I could care less about the Chiefs being in there, and I say that for the predictions. But yeah, if the Chiefs win, I'm cool with that because it's just Taylor. Now, do Lamar deserve it or Lamar has proved it? Yeah. But like you also said, Mr. Antoine, Lamar playoff record is crap. I had this debate with somebody about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Well, it was Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. And he was like, it was MK. MK was like, I can't put Josh Allen in front of Joe Burrow until he beats either Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. And I was telling him, Josh Allen only non-success, or his main problem, I ain't gonna say non-success, his main problem of getting to the Super Bowl is every time he has to see Patrick Mahomes, it's a problem. Every time you see Patrick Mahomes, it's a problem. That's the one person he can't get past. I believe he can beat Joe Burrow. He just can't get past Patrick Mahomes. So now you got to put Lamar in that conversation. If Lamar doesn't beat Patrick Mahomes, which now he has a lot of pressure riding on him, if Lamar doesn't beat Patrick Mahomes, he's in that same boat with Josh Allen, and he's going to be under Josh Allen because of his playoff resume. He lost to worse teams. But that's how I feel about the matchup. And I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I am excited for that matchup. But I just could care less about the Taylor Swift stuff. I don't care. I can see the frustration. It's just at the end of the day, once you take her off the screen, it's back to regular football. And unless they start swag surfing, that come my problem.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
well, we won't have to worry about that because then the Ravens have the home game, so you don't have to worry about that portion of the unless you get their fans, which you know. But my thing, and real quick to just go back, I when in comparison, my thing with the comparison of Mahomes and and
Brady
and I'm sorry,
and Tom Brady.
Lamar
Lamar.
Jackson. Yeah, Lamar. I'm sorry. Yeah, the comparison is that they both they're both. I mean, like I say, let's look at. I mean, you look at Lamar's weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Zay Jones. You can compare him to Rice as far as stepping up. You know what I'm saying? Uh, they got Beckham, but he's not.
He's not
He's not the
the
old
best.
Beckham. You know what I'm saying? And his best, and his best receiver, which was Mark Andrews, you know what I'm saying? Like he had been out, and then you could kind of tell in this last game, he and like likely, you know what I'm saying? That it's taking them a couple of weeks to kind of get that bond back together and and to work because they, he wasn't taking, first team snaps when all this stuff was going on. So um that's my thing. I think they both utilize their legs. I think they both increase their the players around them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the one thing with Mahomes is, now he's got the constant. He's got Kelsey, which is the constant. He hasn't had a Kelsey year this year, which that kind of brings it down. But you know he's got players on his team. You know what I'm saying? They that Pacheco, um, he
Running.
stepped up his game as far as being a good running back. They drafted the Clyde Alairs. I can't say it, but him,
Yeah.
when they drafted him out of LSU, he had came off that national championship team, if I'm not mistaken, with LSU. So he's a good, solid running back. And the one thing about the Chiefs is with the record, they they're one of those teams that when they kind of have mediocre years, everybody's like, oh, what's wrong? Is this and that? I mean, yeah, they've had a down year as far as comparing to themselves, but we also see once they get into the playoffs how that they rely on their playoff experience and you're 100% dead on. Josh Allen can't beat them Patrick Mahomes for nothing in the playoffs. That joker, like, it was almost like that the we were kind of getting into Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, like where Peyton just could not like he just couldn't damn beat Brady. Um but I think like I say, as far as the matchup, I just want to see Lamar do well. And it's a whole lot of stigmas and stereotypes that you want to kind of get broken up because of like you said, because of the way he talks and the way that he's still a young black man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's good. Like that's good enough for me. He doesn't get into trouble. Nobody ever says anything about, he doesn't get into trouble. He you know, and he hasn't had, he doesn't have a Travis Kelsey. He hasn't had a Tyreek Hill.
Uh
He
huh.
hasn't had a player like that offensively, and to put with him. So
Okay.
um, I think but he has developed. Like I say, I think Flowers not. Yeah, I think Flowers will be a good guy as they go along and they develop their chemistry. I think he will be a good player for him. And but I just want to
Who you got?
I just want to see. I want to see Lamar do well more than I really don't.
Okay.
I care about the Chiefs.
All right. Well, for me, like, I, let's
What's
go
up?
back to the let's go back to the Chiefs for a quick second. Um, I did say I don't like the Taylor Swift thing and all that, and that's just too much for me. But the Chiefs themselves, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Agreed.
Okay. He's the best quarterback in the league. When Tyreek Hill was there and when he wasn't there, they still made two Super Bowl, right?
Yeah,
They got to the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill, right? They
yeah.
actually won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. So,
Exactly.
they was running at a level that was so high on offense with Andy Reid and his system, plus the right pieces in at quarterback position, tight end, wide receiver, that they were just levels above everyone, like Roman Reigns, our tribal chief in WWE, levels above. And so,
This tribal chief, the head of the
yeah,
table.
the head of the table, and he's our tribal chief as well. And so, like, they were there. Now they lose Tyreek Hill. The offense comes down a little bit. It looks a little. It doesn't look as sharp as it once was, but still,
They lose B enemy
they
as
made
well.
and they lost the enemy, and they still made a good run in the playoffs without that. And now they're back again, and this time they're doing it as a road team. They're not. They usually in the playoffs they get home game, and then whatever home game, Super Bowl, home game out. But now they've actually done it on the road. So giving the Chiefs their props at um Mahomes is still getting it done. He's using receivers that people don't really know who they are outside of Kelsey. So he's getting the job done there. Give him his credit. Um, but what I'm gonna say for the Ravens is this is the best opportunity for the Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, to finally get to the Super Bowl. They have two home games. They played one home game against a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback at home, and now they get another team at home. Two games. You can't ask for a better scenario to get the Super Bowls.
If they
That's
come out flat like they did when they
yeah,
played the Texans. Patrick Mahomes taking advantage. Because Patrick Mahomes know where he at.
but
Patrick Mahomes
yeah,
does
and
not
this
say that he's at
yeah,
disadvantage. They give him that. Oh, it's ball
yeah.
game.
Well, that's what makes this an intriguing matchup is that both quarterbacks in their own way can make you pay in this game. If like you said, if the Ravens come out flat, the offense doesn't look sharp. The Chiefs can strike from different angles, different play schemes, and all that stuff, and they can make you pay. So I would love to see if I'm a Ravens fan, right? Which I'm not. I'm a Seahawk fan, but if I'm a Ravens fan, I would love to control the clock. I would love to extend drives, and that means in this game, Lamar don't try to prove to the world that you a passing quarterback and all that stuff. If you got to rush this ball for 250 yards to get to the Super Bowl, you do that. If you got to throw for 130, there you go. Try there he is. So like if you have to run the ball a lot, do that in this game. Get the job done. So that's what I'm looking for as far as the Ravens side of things. Again, ball control. Keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible, and I think that would increase the Ravens' chances, gentlemen.
I'm gonna throw this post up here. For what I was rambling about earlier. What's up, Calvin? Got anything to say, man? Before I throw my
No,
post
sir,
up.
I'm just here not to get fined.
But
Y'all
got post.
Kendrick folk. Y'all Kendrick folk, boy, I tell you what.
And
Uh-oh.
it said, what would you rather see first? Mahomes wins ring number 3. Lamar wins first ring. Lions win first ring. 49ers win 6th Super Bowl. And I'm gonna start this off. I made TikTok about it also. I'm gonna try to go check out the TikTok code from the low. But I automatically put the 49ers last. I just could care less if they win the 6th Super Bowl. They put them up there with the Steelers and the Patriots. But I could care less if they win a Super Bowl. Mahomes, now sad to say, but if Lamar wins first ring, I put that third. I could just, in my heart, I know Lamar's eventually going to get one. I think Lamar is one of those quarterbacks that's going to get a ring. If it's this year, next year, the year after, I think he's going to get a ring. A lot of people want to see Lamar get a ring because they don't want to see Patrick Mahomes once again because of certain reasons in the Super Bowl. But I do believe Lamar will get a ring eventually. Now, number 2 is Mahomes wins ring number 3. And this is the sole reason why, and it's a big advantage to podcasters, content creators, and things of that sort. He wins ring number 3, and it already started. He's in the conversation with Brady, and he hasn't won the ring yet. The
Who?
debate is already stirring up.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
What about
You know,
Joe Montana?
You mean the greatest quarterback of all time?
I'm sorry.
Second,
This might be
What
my
about
age.
Joe Montana?
This might be my age showing, but it's Tom. It's Tom and Pat. I'm sorry to let you the old head know,
yeah,
but Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Huh?
Patrick Mahomes go win
yeah,
number 3.
Hmm.
yeah.
He's number 2. I'm sorry to tell you that. He's 2-1.
No,
See,
no,
How many rings in
Joe
5 years?
no.
Montana?
Kobe, no, bro, no,
I
no,
like
man.
the age
Joe
showing.
Montana.
I like Joe. Don't get me wrong, but I'm
That's
putting
an NFL encyclopedia telling us that.
that. Hey,
Joe Joe was Joe Montana before it was you know what I'm saying. Brady is only there now. Brady is only there now because basically because the
The
49ers
ring
want to
count.
move on. The 49ers want to move on and let Steve Young be the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But he still had damn near Joe Montana's team and he won when he won that Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And Montana was still playing at a high level. But this it gets into how, how you gonna the man has 5 rings. You can't you can't he's got 5. Pat's on it, Pat's trying to get to 3.
argue with the media. Hey, argue with the media. I'm just saying, personally, hey, might be my age, so personally, might
I
be
don't
maybe.
think it's your age. I think it's the media pumping that in there,
Oh yeah,
and
I mean,
they forgetting about Joe Montana. They don't want to put Joe Montana out
I
there.
would rather
That's a
see
bad
Pat.
boy.
I'd rather see Patrick Mahomes win the ring number 3, and then the good old Detroit Lions win their first ring. I want to see that the most. But I'm okay with Pat winning ring number 3. It's just because of
Hey,
Taylor Swift. And Calvin, I don't know if you missed it, but if they start swag surfing at that Ravens game, I'm gonna lose it. But I'm okay with because the only problem, our main problem here is people don't like Taylor, and the true NFL fans just doesn't like Taylor and what she's bringing to the NFL. Take that
The true
away,
NFL fans shouldn't be studying Taylor.
but
correct.
they are.
And that's what we said. We care
Living.
less about that.
yeah, but they keep putting our ass on TV.
See,
And like I say,
Okay, hold on.
I already
Let's
don't like
dissect that right
Patrick.
quick.
Uh-huh.
Taylor Swift is one of the probably top 5
Who
pop
cares?
stars around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
NFL,
Probably
hold
number
on.
one. One or
NFL is
two.
about what a bottom line, right?
we not
So
disagreeing with that.
that's all that is. But when it really comes
Yeah.
down to it, those of us that's going to watch because of football, who cares? I mean, it was just like when Romo had the other hot chick. It's
Jessica Simpson.
anytime the league or the media can
Yeah,
capitalize
but
on a pop star. What's the girl name? Boots be walking girl, Daisy Duke girl. What is her name?
Who?
Jessica.
Oh, Jessica Simpson.
Yes. So it's just it is what it is. So I mean that chicks come and go with the league. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
yeah,
always
but we're just saying that we don't want to see that. That's all we're saying. We're not like like me personally. I don't have no problem with the Chiefs winning. I don't care about none of these teams. If y'all want to be honest, like as far as what they do,
well.
it
Well,
doesn't it doesn't
this is
move
a
me
little bit
either
for
way.
everybody. I know that Tyrone. See, most people don't realize that the Seahawks was part of the AFC West at one point in
AFC,
time, and that
yes,
therefore Kansas City is one of his natural rivalries. So no, he never wished good for them.
yeah. Derek Thomas still haunts me to this day. You know what I'm saying? As many times as he sacked Dave Craig. But anyway, yeah,
13 times in one game.
yeah.
how many?
It was like 10, I think.
That's like 12,
But
11, something like
but
that.
we won the game though. That's the crazy part. Dave Craig threw a touchdown off a missed sack
Look it
by
up, Pookie.
Derek Thomas.
Look it up, Pookie. That's just wow.
God. Hey man,
Yeah,
they should have arrested that man for assault. God dang, if you sack
yeah,
somebody 10 times.
yeah.
Did you see
Well,
it, Kobe? Did you
that,
look it up, Kobe?
that and Dave Craig but Dave Craig evaded him one time and threw a game winner. That was the crazy part. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm with you, Corey. It's part of the business. I mean, that's business. Um, but yeah, I just don't I don't enjoy it, but that's
Business
part
is
of it.
booming.
we get as part of the business. Again, I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I just I
Oh,
the media build up and the what you call it for him. He just gets on my nerves. They get on my nerves with him. You know what I'm saying? It's just, oh, like I say, like he walks on water, like he, you know what I'm saying? And when it almost gets LeBronish. It gets LeBronish, and and don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
stop having the light skin hate.
See, there you go. See,
you
the
said that.
thing, Kadarius, now Kadarius Tony can't catch a ball. He couldn't catch a cold buck naked in
He
Alaska.
can't
You know
catch
what I'm saying?
a cold. He can't catch a money. He can't catch a loaf of bread.
Nothing. He can't catch. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, everybody has had a case of the drops. With that team this year. You know what I'm saying? They
Oh, okay.
haven't been the old Chiefs, the ones that we've seen. The 10, 12. I mean the
Levels
12,
above.
13 win teams. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, just I'm not a Patrick Mahomes fan, and that's I just don't like him. So anything else that goes along with him and her ass being on TV irritates me even more. You know what I'm saying? So
But you know
don't
what? But
I
just the
don't want
fact
to see it.
just the fact that we have that you can say, you know what, I can hate on the black quarterback publicly is a dope concept because you used to couldn't because there wasn't none but one.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
plenty
We had
now, but
we yeah.
there's
You had
still a separation
you had the so
here.
I don't even
Let's
consider
be real about it. There's still a difference here. And that's why
Yes,
there's a
it
media
is. But
push.
but
And there's not a
progressively,
media push. There's not a media push for Mahomes the way for this season like it is for Jackson. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah, I was
certain
gonna
media
get
push this
into
year for Jackson a little bit more.
yeah.
the Lamar and Patrick Mahomes debate, but we already kind of got into it. And the
but he
quarterback
played a lot better this year though, John.
we already got into it. Thanks to Mr. Antoine kicking us off. But we got Lamar.
But he also got more. He also got better tools around. They finally did what they needed to put a team
Good
around him
job,
that
Twan.
can support that child.
But
Uh-huh.
okay, yeah, I mean, but we say that, and like I say, I think it's I mean, and I don't mean to hop the gun, Kobe, if you don't care about me, kind of leading that off. I think, like you say, with that thing, I think that
Uh-huh.
has Lamar has he has gotten better as a quarterback. Number one,
Oh,
you know what I'm
definitely,
saying.
oh, definitely. And as a passer.
He's gotten better as a quarterback, you know what I'm saying, and all of that comes with experience. You know what I'm saying. You come with experience, so that's one thing. And then the second part of it, like I say, my man Flowers has he was he's a bright spot, so he has a semi decent receiver. Now, like you say, his number one target went down, and so, but that didn't stop them. They kept playing well, and they've got a defense that still plays hard nosed NFC North football. You know what I'm saying? You got the Ravens, you got the Steelers and the Browns and all that. That's kind of their calling card. But like I said, the last thing is like I said, I just want, for me personally, because of all the negative and all constant stereotypes about black quarterbacks. That's why I want Jackson to do well. Mahomes never, what I'm saying, and true enough, Mahomes is a better passer. You know what I'm saying? He's got a quicker release. He's got the accuracy, so he does that part, well, and he's a better passer. I get that, but I just want a guy like Lamar to come out and like I say, just kind of bust up some of that old crap, man. That's what I like about him.
No doubt.
Mahomes is
I
a
get
black
it. I mean,
quarterback.
Mahomes. Well, to say he's a better
I meant
passer.
Lamar.
Mahomes,
I meant Lamar.
I mean, I'm saying Lamar. I mean, Mahomes is a better passer than 99.99% of the whole NFL. So it is what it is. He
Yeah.
is the best. He is the best passer in the league. But the thing about it was everything. They were always they tried to paint Lamar into this. Oh, he is one dimensional. He's just another running quarterback that's not that accurate. When you actually, if you actually
That is
pay
fair to say,
attention,
though.
huh? What you
That is
say?
fair to say, though.
It's fair to say. It's easy to
Over most of his
say.
career.
Hold on. But it's easy to say that when he didn't have the tools around him, where and the scheme was when in doubt, tuck it and go. But it's apparent now that when you put the tools around him to do the other things, he will do more of the other things. Right or wrong?
To what degree?
He put it like this: is he shown that he's a lot better passer than they thought he was this season? Agree or disagree? He will stay in the pocket. He's not. He's not. He's
Yeah,
not.
he
He's
stayed in
not
the
every
pocket.
other. His first instinct
He's
is not
more.
every other.
He's more.
It's first, second read and tuck and duck and take off.
He's more developed than what he was starting off his career. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
That's because he had no choice.
And if you want to stay in the league as a quarterback, he better had developed. He had no. You're right. Like I said, he had no choice.
No, the beginning of his career, he had no choice but to play that type of style of ball.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see. I see what are you saying? I see what you're saying.
Because at the end of the day, that head coach there at that time, he's always trying to keep his job. He got a guy. He don't have much on offense, but he got a guy that's a game breaker that can break out and take off. Guess what I'm gonna do? Let him do it because he don't care. At the end of the day, his job is to keep his job to feed his family, not feed Lamar's family.
Got a point. Got a point. No argument. I think we lost Mr. Fulham. Oh, he's in the backstage. He's added to the stage. I'm sorry about that. My bad about that, Mr. Fulham. I ain't see you backstage.
Okay, it's fine. I was putting the bullpen for a minute. That's okay.
But
I can come back out.
what reassured what Calvin was saying was in the beginning of Lamar's career, he had no choice but to be a runner. He didn't have very many weapons surrounding him, but he has grown as a passer as the years has come.
Yeah, that's fair. That's similar to Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb was more of a runner when he first came into the league, which a lot of quarterbacks are tend to be like that. They tend to be more of a runner, get things done best way they can for a while until they develop more and get more help. But I don't think anyone's going to confuse Lamar Jackson with being a prolific passer, and that's fine. He don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the thing too. He just needs to be good enough. Make the plays, be good enough. As I said earlier, I think before Corey came on, Lamar, use this game tomorrow. Don't try to prove everybody you a pocket passer. You just get the job done tomorrow. Get your team to the Super Bowl.
That I agree on. But the only thing I just wonder, did anybody? I guess I'm the one. I'm the one of the few people that actually paid attention to Lamar when he was in college. What kind of quarterback was he in college?
A runner at Louisville, and that's
He
most
threw.
high.
No, he actually he did less running. He did less running than he does in the league.
I don't know about that. I might have to revisit that, but I know when he was in college, he was running that ball a lot.
I think he was a more of a runner. Uh, but I think he was that from day one. I'm talking about Pee Wee football on up.
His sophomore year, he won the Heisman.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying move it. I mean, from day one, that's how he played football. He wasn't brought up to play Peyton Manning type football. He was brought up
And
to be a
he,
playmaker.
I don't know how true this is, but he didn't know how to read a playbook until he got to college.
Oh, that, I wouldn't be shocked, and that's not being funny. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of players, including the Mike Vick, they have so much talent that when they were brought up, they were allowed to do what they do best because they have that extra skill set that a lot of people may not have. Peyton Manning was bred to be a cerebral pocket quarterback or whatever that kind of stuff is.
No, so
But
that Pete,
we
okay, there's
don't
a
we
difference.
don't those
There's a
quarterbacks were
difference.
not taught, but they weren't taught like that, Coy.
No,
Lamar
I'm saying
Jackson wasn't
there's
taught
a
to be that
difference
kind of quarterback.
when you spend your time with your father every weekend at an NFL
That's a
practices
very good
and
point.
everything else. There's a totally if you ever notice, most successful quarterbacks for some reason tend to
Yeah.
be children of athletes or coaches' kids. Why?
Yeah.
Because they understand the discipline behind it.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
We get that, but I mean, it's not when you say Lamar didn't know how to read a playbook until he got to college. Here's the thing about that, Kobe. That means every other coach that he had from Pop Warner to high
Yes.
school failed him.
Did- Yes. Did him a disservice.
Okay, they said high school coach was more of a scheme guy and just threw the headset on. I don't know what it said verbatim, but yeah.
I mean, but that now we get into something a lot deeper, but I don't, my bad. I don't want to derail things and go a whole nother place,
No,
so we'll save it for
that's
later.
on your network.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
go.
All right.
We'll tap into that kind of stuff later. But yeah, um,
But
I mean, look, I like Lamar, and I want him to do well. And when you get the predictions, I give you my answer, Cole.
we all like we finna get a prediction in just a moment. But we all like Lamar. It just is he gonna step up to the task against Patrick Mahomes. And we're gonna go right
Ooh,
to our prediction.
ooh.
And I'm gonna kick off the prediction this time. I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs beating Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Why you had to put Taylor Swift up there,
There
bro?
you go with that damn Taylor Swift thing. See, look at you, Kobe.
Come on, man. As somebody
Kobe
said on
did
TV.
that on purpose. He been waiting to pull that one out ever since we got on. He been waiting to pull that thing out.
Oh boy. Wow.
I'll take the Swifties and I'll take Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey to go to the Super Bowl again versus the Detroit Lions and beat the Baltimore Ravens. Because you can't go Taylor Swift aside. Every time I went against Patrick Mahomes, he proved me wrong. I'm
Okay.
going to see Patrick Mahomes losing this right now. The world's against him, really against Taylor Swift and the Chiefs, but the world's against him. They don't want to see him win. He done, he done proved he can beat teams on the road.
Hmm.
He proved he can carry the team, and he had the experience in the big moments to get him there with two Super Bowl rings. So I'll take the Swifties as long as they keep my swag surfing on the right side. But I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Baltimore Ravens, and I'll go ahead and go score predictions also. I say 28-21.
Okay, well, I ain't scared. How about that? Like I said, I won't. I agree with what you're saying, though. You know what I'm saying? The one thing that Mahomes has over Jackson is the experience. He's been, he's been on he's been on the side of winning and the side of losing. You know what I'm saying? So he
Yep.
knows,
Hmm.
he has the experience. He knows exactly what and he knows how to play within himself. That's the one thing that Mr. 411 had kind of alluded to, where you get with Lamar. He does not, in order for him to be successful tomorrow, he needs to stay within the confines of himself, take what the defense gives him. Don't try to, yeah, hey, yeah, you don't need a 400-yard passing game. I'd rather, yeah, whatever they give you, you take what they give you and you use that to your advantage. You got the home crowd. You cannot, and Kobe, you made a point too. They cannot come out flat like they did against the Texans. And that's the one thing about that. I think Mahomes and his team, they're going to be ready. That this is something that was, last week was a little bit unfamiliar to them as far as being on the road, and they were down a little bit against the Bills, and they found a way to come back. But again, I want to see Lamar do well. I'm picking the Ravens 31-28.
Ooh, good game. Good game. Uh,
Wow.
ready for mine?
We'll take it. Go ahead.
All right, Ravens 25, Chiefs 17.
Okay.
I think that I think that if the Ravens are going to win, they're going to have to keep the Chiefs, somewhat in check on the offensive side of things as far as Chiefs are concerned. Kind of keep the Chiefs, kind of stagnated on offense, so they can hold them to about 17. I think that if the Ravens they can get about 25 points on them, and I think that'll be enough to get it done. It's an ugly score, just like the game should be. It should be an ugly game if the Ravens want to win.
And Money Man Calvin, what you got?
24-21, Kansas
And
City.
hey,
Mm.
there we go. They go to KC, man.
Mm-mm.
Reason being is I think that most people don't realize it. I think Patrick Mahomes has something to prove
Thank
because
you.
of exactly what Kobe talked about, the Brady talk. Patrick Mahomes is starting to get into this part of his career, the legacy talk, because you don't know how many times you get a shot. So, because he missed one that he should have had already.
Yeah.
That year they lost to the Bengals.
He missed one against to Brady.
Yeah, see, look, I don't care. I don't count.
That,
If you
and
don't make
that
it to the big game,
technically
I don't count it.
and that technically wasn't on him because his receivers was exactly like this year playing dropsies. They were playing hot tail with the ball.
No,
No,
you
you
can
got to
play
throw
in
the ball.
Brady.
The
Yeah,
year
Huh?
it's a L.
when he
It's
played
a
Brady,
L.
when he played Brady, his receivers were playing hot potato with the football.
Don't disagree with you, but a L is a L.
It's a L.
You're right, it's a L, but it's like we was talking about. You wasn't on here yet, but the Packers L was strictly on Jordan Love. You don't make that. You don't make that kind of throw. If Patrick Mahomes make them kind of throws in the Tom Brady game, don't you think we have a different conversation? Patrick Mahomes can't compete against these big time quarterbacks as in Brady, the person he's comparing to. When you start getting into those talks, that's what it's gonna go down to. Well, when he played Brady in the Super Bowl, Brady
That's
keep
just
holding
like
on to the
saying
Super Bowl ring.
if the Chiefs had inside pressure, we wouldn't have that talk.
Yeah.
Or that defense. I'll talk about all things, but you got a good point.
If the Eagles won that Super Bowl the other year, Jalen Hurts would have had the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and who was it? Who did they beat?
His Super Bowl
Didn't
ring.
they beat the 40?
He
Did
beat
he
the
beat the
49ers.
49ers for his first one?
He beat the 49ers and he beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
And the Eagles,
His second,
lost to Tampa.
That's what
his
I'm
second,
saying. And the 49ers, didn't the 49ers have like a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter?
yes, sir. It was a comeback win.
So yeah, I mean, and Calvin, yeah, you got a point. He probably, like for his own motivation. I think everybody's talked that whole. Well, he's never had to go on the road to win. He's gonna have to go on the road to win the Super Bowl, and that's a valid point. And like I say, the only thing that well, I ain't gonna say the only thing, but the thing that he knows how to play within the confines of himself, and that's just where I hope Lamar doesn't go. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't have to. He doesn't get out there and try to, like I say, try to out throw.
Patrick Mahomes play his game
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You just do you. You
and
do
play your
you.
game.
Yeah, and
Right.
again, yeah, if you got to run for 200 yards, run.
Run for 200 yards. Don't
Yeah,
get out
do
there
Yeah.
what you
stat
got to
watching. I
do.
totally agree
Do
with
what you
you.
got to
Don't get
do to
out there
win.
watching the stats.
Yeah.
Get her done.
Get her done.
Because what most people talk about the legacy of Brady, they don't realize the first three Super Bowls were not pretty wins. Were not
Nope.
pretty. Those teams were not. They were not the glam teams that people think they were.
No,
Correct. Correct.
no.
Absolutely.
I think
Exactly.
great.
That Rams victory, that the first one, right? The first one, which was like 0-1, I believe. But that's the one where Bledsoe was like the starter,
Tuck
and then
rule. There's a
Brady
whole bunch
came
going on
in.
with that. There
You
was a
had the
whole
Yeah,
tuck
bunch
rule
going on.
against the Raiders, tuck rule. You
that
had
yeah, they should have fucking lost to the Raiders, and yeah, they come up with that
he,
the tuck rule was his. And you can tell me what you want to. If you see him, that damn ball was already out of his freaking hand coming
thing.
forward. That ball
Yeah.
was out of his hand.
And then Vinatieri with the field goal at the end in New Orleans to beat the Rams. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
it was
think
that
that first.
close.
I think he, like you said. I think that first two. I know those first two were field goals. You know what I'm saying? Like they kick field goals.
Carolina, yeah,
You
one
know what I'm
against
saying?
Carolina, Vinatieri at the end, field goal. So I mean, it was that close to not having six. You get four, or maybe less. Who knows?
The Seattle. I mean, the Seahawks with that
Oh, he just threw
dumbass
it. Oh
throw.
man. Oh
Oh
man.
yeah, dang man,
That was
wow!
that was awful.
Don't do me like that, Brendan. But
Well,
okay.
we finna bring up the Falcons blowing 20.
Oh,
We finna bring up the Falcons blowing. I mean, you.
You think the Falcons,
Again,
who
I think
has
they
who?
said.
Wait,
I
wait.
think I remember one of those.
28 to
They came
3.
back and they said that Atlanta statistically, if they had have just run the ball, when they scored that and they went up, when they were up the 20, was it 28-3 or
You
whatever it
mean
was?
Atlanta Falcons with the genius offensive coordinator that everybody think is the offensive guru of the NFL now? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep. Well, I mean, no. All they said, all Atlanta had to do, if Atlanta would have, even if they had to play 3-and-out football, if they had to just ran the ball 3 times, there's, like they would there wasn't enough time for them to come back. They had to
Yeah,
do
they
the
froze the
stupid.
clock. They could have froze the
Yeah,
fuck ball
they
game.
had to do it. They had to do the stupid shit that they did for them to lose the Super Bowl. They
And they
and
did.
and and so yeah, hey man, you know, if you look, like you say, you look throughout history and you look at the things and like the wins and all that. Hey,
Hmm.
it wasn't like, what I'm saying, even with the Tampa Bay, Brady, like I say, he's never really dominated a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But you look at him too. Eli beat his ass twice. So
Wow, I just forgot
Who
about
beat Joe
those.
Montana in the Super Bowl? Oh, wait.
Hey man, if Joe is in my top two. Oh,
he's second.
he in my
He's
top
second.
two.
Yeah, he's second to me.
We're gonna say
But
that.
anyway,
We're gonna say that for episode of Low Talks.
yeah,
Okay.
you can't. You ain't at three yet. You gotta hold on.
We're gonna say that for episode of Low Talks, and we're gonna also add the LeBron versus Michael Jordan conversation on there too, and have it a little interesting. Is everyone familiar with the players that are still left into the in the playoffs? The individual players,
as far as what?
as in, so I power rank the top 15 players, in my opinion,
Okay.
in the that's still left in the playoffs, as in the championship Sunday top 14.
Okay.
And this is the list. It's a little small, so I'm gonna read it out. But I got number one Patrick Mahomes, number two Lamar Jackson, number three Trent Williams, number four Nick Bosa, number five Panay Sewell, number six Christian McCaffrey, number seven Fred Warner, number eight Travis Kelsey, number nine Chris Jones, number 10 Roquan Smith, number 11 Amara St. Brown, number 12 Aiden Hutchinson, number 13 Debo, 14 George Kittle, 15 Brandon Ayuk, and some honorable mentions would be Isaiah Pacheco, Marlon Humphrey, and Kyle Hamilton.
Wow. McCaffrey's in my top three. I think he's gonna be vital to the 49ers success
I,
in
I,
the running and passing game and controlling the clock.
I
So
feel like
that for me, that's my top. He in my top three.
Yeah,
I
that would be the only thing I would swap. I would swap McCaffrey. I would put McCaffrey. Yeah, I would go Mahomes, Lamar,
Yeah,
and then McCaffrey, and then just kind of slide everybody else down that way. I don't, the rest of all those other guys, and the two that you left off, you right to lead them off. You right to lead Purdy sorry
yeah.
ass off, and you were right to lead Jared. I think Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff would probably be um, where you got St. Brown. I think the only way St. Brown's success is going to be predicated upon the way that Goff plays. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still got to throw him the ball. So
But
if
Brown,
you
but
can get
Brown,
it to him.
but Brown's right after the catch comes into play for me
yeah,
too.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna say when St. Brown gets the ball, St. Brown makes it happen. Like I was
yeah,
chasing Joe Burrow, I can throw you the ball for 10 yards, but you taking it for another 60s on you.
yeah, yeah. And you're right. And that again, that I think that's if Goff, but he's still got to. Where every one of these quarterbacks has to play within themselves and within the system that's gotten them to this point. And like I say, I understand what you're saying as far as like St. Brown, but I if you get if you're throwing the ball away or if you're not putting it on him where you normally put on him and the pressure gets to you, then you know But I mean, hey, this is a good list. Like I say, the only thing I would do, like I would agree with Jones or whatever, I would put McCaffrey as the number one player for the 49ers. They're gonna go as he goes.
I'm gonna
And
say I would.
I like the lineman
I
from
would say
Detroit too. That was a
only reason I
good
agree with
pick.
the list is because it's a quarterback's league. Other than that, I will put Trent Williams number one because it's a man after my own heart.
I like the defense, the offensive lineman for the Lions, which was a good draft pick too that they had whenever they did that. What's
Yeah,
his name?
yeah,
Sua or something. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good one too.
yeah.
Um, you know, that was a good. That's a good play to have high on the list too. So it's a quality list. I like the
Trent,
list.
to me,
Yeah, and I agree with you, Calvin. You know what I'm saying? He
Trent
Yeah,
Williams
and
is
Trent
in the
Williams.
same category as a Larry Allen,
yeah,
Larry
I
Williams,
like that.
yeah.
Jonathan Ogden. Uh, what's your boy Seattle? What's his name?
Walter Jones.
Walter Jones. That's what. So hey,
Larry, Munoz, that used to be for
Yeah, Anthony Munoz.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, what you call it?
Bill
You know,
Fraley.
uh, Orlando Pace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like these, like you said, yeah, teams. Trent Williams is and you know what? I mean, I like him too. He's a damn bully. He be out there slapping folks and throwing people. You know what I'm saying? He still plays some old school football. He don't
And
do
I don't
all
like
that.
linemen.
Yeah.
From just never have liked the linemen in my life.
Oh, we know.
Hey, and what about speaking of the Falcons, they had one back in the day, Fralick. William
Hmm.
Bill Fralick was a
Bill
great
Frelick.
lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those linemen. Yeah,
But yes, I agree. Purdy should not be on the list.
yeah.
No,
But
no.
as long as he does his, he's good for his team. Yeah,
Yeah,
He's what his
yeah.
team settled on. I don't even. That's it's a difference.
yeah.
I think
I
you
mean,
know what I think for what San Francisco likes to run offensively is some of that same. You I think it's just a ramped up version of the old West Coast offense, which was
Yeah,
a lot of the short passes. What I'm saying,
mhm.
kind of scheme. You
that's what he
run
grew up
little
off of.
slants, huh?
That's what he grew off of. That's what he grew
Yeah,
up.
and so
He
yeah,
grew up
and
in
and
that stuff.
yeah, and that's what I think they just do that same thing. That was what San Francisco has always been successful with. I think they just do the same thing, and so uh, you know, I agree with you though. Yeah, Purdy is. He is. He is who he is. He's a game manager. That's all right. We already had. We went into that a while. A
Mm.
little while ago, but he's all right. I mean, for like I said, for his team.
If he'd be anywhere else, he'd be the third string quarterback. Anyway,
But just to end off the podcast with one more topic, and we kind of spoke on it a little bit earlier, but let's talk about Josh Allen and the Bills and they playoff hump, which the major playoff hump is getting past the Kansas City Chiefs. And
Okay.
we'll start off with Calvin. Calvin, you there? Never mind. We'll start with Mr. 401.
All right. The playoff hunt for the Bills. The Bills need to pay the bill, Belichick. They're close. I think they have a great fan base. And Josh Allen has done well so far in his career. And there's nothing wrong with having to have that proverbial hump that you got to get over. Detroit Pistons had to go through the Boston Celtics. Then when they finally, made it past Boston, they had to get over the Lakers, and then well, they finally dethroned the Lakers. Same thing with the Bulls. They had to get over, the Pistons before they can get there, and so on and so forth. So, we've seen it in sports where you have to get past a certain team. And for Buffalo, you know, it's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and so they're close. I would just tweak some things with them. I would try to get a running back that you can count on, on the ground. They can use Cook as a change up. I think that would definitely help them because right now their best running back is Josh Allen, and if he continues to be
Josh
the best
Allen's a
running back,
coach killer.
and well, continue, and if you continue to have Josh Allen as your best back, it's not gonna last long. So the window will get shorter and shorter. So for me, make a bold move, bring in Bill Belichick, let his scheme help with this team as far as defense and stuff like that. Be a better, be even better on defense. And they got enough on offense outside the running back, in my opinion, uh, to get them over the hump. So that's just my thing on Buffalo. I think they're close. You just got to keep chopping wood.
Mr. Antoine.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's I don't know if we touched on it a little bit earlier, but I think that he's Josh Allen is kind of the like I said when Peyton Manning kept running into to Tom Brady. It's just one of those things like just that's just his nemesis right now, and he does have to he has to find a way. I think he played well enough this last playoff. Um, I disagree with I agree Jones they need a running back, but I would get rid of Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry. He's got to go. I don't trust him. Um, he whines too much for me. You know what I'm saying? And as hard nosed as a team as they try to be, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and everybody plays without players. I think they were without three or four of their good defensive players. Um, when they met Mahomes, and you can't, you had the game at home. You can't use that as an excuse. Like the same way Calvin, I love to tell you, next man up. You know what I'm saying? These are professionals, so you're there. But I think they probably might need a coaching change. You get you only get so many shots at this thing, and the more you do it, the tighter that window gets. And then, like you say, if somebody else is always coming on the come up, you kind of got rid of Burrow this year, so you didn't have to deal with him in the playoffs. But uh, mm, I just think that it's just one of those things. Like you say, it just takes sometimes it takes time to get there, and it takes the things. But as far as that team, I would definitely get rid of Stephon Diggs if I had anything to say with it, because he seems to be he's one of those guys that he whines. Just for me, I don't like whiny wide receivers. He doesn't, I don't like him.
You don't like a lot of big name players.
I mean, just for the things like I say for Diggs, it's different guy. Like a guy like a Larry Johnson that didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like you've never heard his teammates talk about him, not blocking, not doing the things, even if even if they're not playing well. He's not going to be a distraction to your team, but you got Diggs, when well, my brother might need the lead because they ain't throwing him the ball. Man, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Get out there and play football. You making a king's ransom playing the kids' game. And the best thing you can do for your team, sometimes is be a teammate. Be a good teammate. If you got to be a distraction, be a distraction. Like Debo may be, like when he gets out there, he may not be 100%, but if he's a good enough distraction for the other guys to do their job, then that's what you do for your team. But like I say, that's just my opinion about that. I don't like whiny football players. I don't want to hear nothing about you complaining about your job.
Calvin, you with us?
Yes, sir. First of all, Josh Allen's the coach killer. Second of all, I agree with you that your boy, yeah, he whines too much. But their window's closing, and they're gonna need a coaching change for one simple reason. His ball. We talk about Jackson and his career, but Josh Allen is in the same boat. We just tend to don't look at it the same way. That his window is going to shrink at some point because you can't take those licks. We've seen it. We've seen it with the big running backs. They were just the next monster or whatever. Them licks gonna add up. So his window's closing too.
You're right.
But I'm like this, and as far as the head coach go, you've had a coordinator on both sides of the ball been fired under your regime. There's only one person next. So
You, yep. You next.
Belichick to Buffalo. That'll be interesting.
He didn't get the Falcon job.
And that some people saying they didn't want. I think what's wrong with Atlanta, and this is just totally off topic. I mean, I'm like the Falcons or whatever. Atlanta has never had. Atlanta needed somebody to have a winning. There's no winning culture. You got to bring somebody in that has won and learn, knows how to get the organization lined up from top to bottom in winning. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing. I mean, I don't mind having a black coach. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm always going to be for the black people. But like with that situation, man, I would have liked to have seen them bring Belichick in and let him, bring, you know what I'm saying? Like you've got to know how to practice to win. You've got to know how to coach to, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that Atlanta, in all of my life, they, it's just never been a consistent thing as far as like winning. And you got to, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not going to bring in people to know that knows how to win, it's somewhere, quarterback, run, somebody that's had some success to teach you how to win, then I don't think you will.
Well, to be fair now, I will just say, well, the Dan Reeves years it was a totally different time for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, but Reeves was he didn't, he was a winner though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I know he didn't win those Super Bowls. I know he didn't win those Super Bowls, but
They went
but he
to
was,
it though.
yeah, he got him there, and he was a good coach. You know what I'm saying?
and they
He
were
had
consistent. They
won.
were consistent. They were consistent when he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, you know what I'm saying, and the same way you had You had what's his name? They had a he got the team set. Atlanta was able to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? They went to running the ball. Kind of ball control. Chandler didn't make. What I'm saying, like you didn't expect him to. He wasn't going to run the ball. He wouldn't. What I'm saying, like, but they played good defense. They played. What I'm saying, and he brought a winning. What I'm saying, he brought his winning culture with him from Denver to Atlanta. Well, ever since that
That's
has been
no
gone,
chandelier.
you hadn't you haven't had anybody. What I'm saying, like, and I don't think Blank is against paying people, or I don't think he. What
No,
I'm
but
saying.
I've heard stuff to the effect of a lot of people that are not on the field that are in those offices don't want Belichick to come in there. I've heard that. So
Yeah,
I
whether
probably
wonder
because
it's true or
why.
false.
he gonna get on their ass and change some shit that they don't want to change. That's what you don't want. Yeah, I get that. That's why you need somebody like that. You need somebody that's gonna make people.
Yeah, I think my understanding is that team president. You know what I'm talking about, McKay?
Yeah,
That used to be
He out
tied to
too.
Belichick. I think he's
He
one of the
out.
leading people that said no, 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 we don't know.
But he's out. Now he's out.
Hey,
I
so
thought they
and
still.
then
Who was
my
they don't have
problem, my
McKay
problem,
still?
huh?
I know they got Font. Oh, I know they have Fontenot as like a he's something, but isn't it McKay isn't still there?
He's not in the football operations decision making.
Oh, but my thing about it is why Marine? Because when Raheem, that's like a loyalty promotion. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had him interim. Okay, he's been interim head coach for the Falcons 3 times already, right?
I know it. I know he did. I know he was there one in like 2020, but well before they brought in whatever this dude is, the last idiot, Arthur Smith, before they brought his goofy ass in there.
And then the one before that, and when Junior, what's his name, Moore Junior, there he was when they came
Bit.
in hit.
Oh, okay. Did he do something with him there?
I mean, he's a lifelong coach. I mean, he's a
So what
journeyman.
about Buffalo guys?
But
Oh yeah,
it's kind of
like I said, yeah, we gotta get off subject with that.
but it's kind of at the point where why now?
Yeah, I guess
Because
we could say
players
yeah.
like
I
him.
guess yeah, we could do this on another thing. But like I say,
Okay.
yeah, if we running back around, I think like I said we said with the Bills in that playoff, they're not gonna as far as like needing they need that same thing. They need to change coaches. Um, I think they need a coaching change. And Calvin made like you say, when your quarterback has to run as much as they do, your career just doesn't last as long, and you you have to get you have to take advantage of it when you can. Like I say,
Yeah.
Burrow will be back next year, so that's gonna be you fighting for them spots. That's gonna be a spot that that he's gonna take. We see that young CJ Stroud is this he is just now getting what I'm saying he and you talk about somebody that played above their head with what they had. So he's going to be a problem. The Texans are going to start being a problem. So um, you know
I mean,
Yeah,
don't
they
uh,
need to
forget
protect
that.
that quarterback, and they need to
Don't
protect
forget
the
that
defense at all
Trevor
costs.
Lawrence is still out there too.
yeah, Lawrence is still there. They kind of had a meltdown towards the end of the year. The Jets, we're gonna see if they're supposed to Aaron Rodgers gonna be so now you back in uh no, that's not their division, but
It's an
yeah,
AFC though.
yeah, he's still in the AFC, yeah, but it's
We
it's
get we got to see if the
Well, the
national anthem
Jets,
going to
well, the
turn him
Jets and
around.
Buffalo. But the Jets and Buffalo are in the AFC East, so you know you still got that too. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of pieces. Like, and I said it earlier about Jackson because let's face it, now Jackson been injured the last 2 years too. Lamar, and he missed late in the season the last 2 years due to injury. So,
Yeah.
this is his best opportunity to get her done. You know what I'm saying? So, these things are hard to come by. Ask the Dirty Birds that year in '98 when the Falcons went to Super Bowl.
Shit, ask
You know,
Marino.
and ask Dan Marino, perfect example. Young guy made it to the Super Bowl
Never
and
made it. Yeah,
never made it back.
and had all those passing yards, had all that, had the receiver, Duper and Clayton and Duper
Clayton.
and
Hmm.
just never got back there. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then, like I said, he got there like his second year, and everybody was like, well, they'll be back, and never got back. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things, like you say, and the fact that if you're a running quarterback, those years go down even more because you're taking those hits.
Yep. He reminds me of a Cam Newton type quarterback when I see Josh Allen. He reminds me of a Cam Newton. That's what he reminds me of. Big guy with speed, can run you over, strong arm. He just kind of reminds me of a Cam Newton-ish type
He's
quarterback.
just
If that,
more YOLO with the ball than Cam Newton. Cam Newton would
yeah.
prefer when Cam he's gonna default to being big guy. I'll run you over. Whereas Josh is
Hmm.
gonna fall. Josh, well, we don't know what he's gonna do because that boy there is a coach killer. Because he might chuck it and say, "Here we go. I got a big, strong arm, and there's one man, it's my guy, and three other guys. Let me see if I can get it there."
Yeah. Never know.
So you think he makes some questionable decisions? You're saying?
He makes a lot of questionable decisions, but I mean, we don't. He's never. I mean, he still gives up the ips. It's not like he does. He's gotten better about the interceptions, but he still gives up the ball way too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But so
It's
did
just
so
it's
did
just
another
that the
guy. It's
positive
Hall of Famer Brett
the
Favre.
positive has got to the point where it outweighs the negative. But
The gunslinger.
The
yeah,
gunslinger Brett Favre
He's,
probably
he's a
thrown more than anybody in the
gunslinger.
history of the game.
Yeah, he's a gunslinger. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject too. But
All right.
Kobe Cole.
All right, fellas, that was a great time having y'all. We have any closing remarks?
oh
Nah,
yes,
thank
sir.
you, man, for having me on, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thanks.
having
Yeah,
me on, man.
It's always a great time talking to y'all, OG, talking to my OGs, my OGs, my OGs.
yeah, man. Keep like I said, the only thing, COVID. Me, and you, we gonna have to disagree on. You gonna have to get somewhere, man. Patrick Mahomes is not number two or number one. He's about 4, 5.
Well,
Ish. Ish.
well,
Yeah,
well,
ish.
well, we're gonna get to we got two things we gotta disagree on because Joe Montana and Patrick Mahomes, and we'll have that talk on Low Talks. And then we also got Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift versus versus the Detroit Lions, and I still got Patrick Mahomes and the Swifties. But having y'all on. Don't forget to follow Mr. 401. Started his YouTube at 401 Sports World. Also his Instagram, not Instagram, I'm sorry, TikTok. And your Instagram the same thing, right, Mr. 401?
It is. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do one of these for the TikTok, man. So I'm gonna try to get some of my staff together to get you one of those Instagram things like that, QR code. So I'll work on that.
And then also we got me. Follow me on TikTok at Code Front Low. Instagram, Code Front Low.
Yeah, one of those right there, Cole. Okay, I'll work on that.
And subscribe, like, comment. Subscribe, like, and comment, and put on the post notification bell so you know when my content drop. All right, fellas. Great time having y'all as always. I will catch y'all in next episode.
All right, Kobe. Have a good one, bro.
You too.
Later.